Hi toy fans and viewers, this is ToyHound here with a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Vintage Toy Haul Part 2. Now in the previous video I showed you some older He-Man and the Masters of the Universe toys, or Masters of the Universe toys that Mattel produced back in the early 80s and mid 80s. But anyhow, I bought some more of those toys from that second-hand store I got at Last Man Standing. And I just wanted to show you that part 2 before the end of the year. And one thing to be aware of right off the bat is some of these toys does not stand very well anymore. So if they look like they're standing well, right off the bat, this Faker, which I'll show you first, does not want to stand very well. And if you replace the rubber band on it, it's kind of a real pain. So I just got it for the nostalgia part of it. But that's Faker. It's really cool nonetheless. And he has similar chest plate like Skeletor, of course, like you can see right there. Basically the chest plate's the same. And here's what it looks like next to He-Man. So I have a regular He-Man besides Prince Adam. In the other video I showed you Prince Adam, but it's basically the same mold, just changed a little bit. But that part's the same, that part's the same. So Faker He-Man is basically this with the different chest plate. And it's painted a different color. But still cool nonetheless. And it doesn't have the sticker on the inside, unfortunately. I checked. And that's what it looks like on the back. And of course, there is some wear to it. It is an older toy. And it can hold the sword just like what He-Man would hold. Except the original one is an orange color like that. But that's Faker. And I'm just gonna put him off to the side because he don't stand very well. Kind of wonky. Then you got Evylyn, which is basically a retooled version of Teela. She's really cool nonetheless. You've got her staff. And it's really hard to find really good paint and condition versions, so I got the good condition paint over the stability of the figure. And here's what it looks like next to a Loyal Subjects Evylyn. So if you're just wondering about that, if you're a fan of these action vinyls, it's really cool to see them in comparison. Of course, that's what it looks like next to the Loyal Subjects staff for Evylyn. And of course, there ain't much articulation, and they are kind of a pain in the butt to stand. So that's Evylyn. Of course, just knocked over Roboto. But this one's Roboto, and he's got two weapons that fit inside of his little claw hand. And he was from Season 2. One cool thing about him, you turn his waist, and his mouth opens like that. So that's all you can do. The arms don't turn the gears, just the waist. I thought that was really cool. There is articulation on the bottom, but he doesn't stand very well because he's an older toy. Of course, you can see the gear turning. And that one's from '84. I don't know all the years of him. And of course, it's really hard to stand these. Then you got that one right there. So that's his other weapon. And then you have Stratos. Move all these weapons out of the way. And he kind of stands alright. It's really cool. It's not in the greatest of condition, but I got him for a good price. He doesn't have his little staff like the Loyal Subjects one does, but Still cool nonetheless. And that's what it looks like on the back. It is old, and this is an old deformed toy. They weren't like the greatest quality back then either, but still cool to have. And actually I got it cheaper than what I paid for the Loyal Subjects. And we'll do a comparison with that. That's what it looks like next to a Loyal Subject Stratos. So it's right there. We'll set him. They don't stand very well at all. Then you got Beastman. And his legs are shot. They're not in the greatest condition. But the paint on him's pretty good. Plastics on him's decent, just his legs have been played with quite a bit. And he has his little staff. So he has a little string. His whip. Yes, I think it's his whip. But it's not, it doesn't stay in his hand very well. But I think that's how you hold it. So, and here's what it looks like next to a Loyal Subjects version of Beastman. So, that one's from Walmart, of course. And then we got, of course, another Skeletor. One good thing about this Skeletor is it has his Havoc staff. So, that's pretty cool. Cool to have his Havoc staff. This one stands a little bit better than the other Skeletor. Still really cool. He's not in the best paint condition, but I got more for the Havoc staff. And lastly, you got the original He-Man, and he doesn't stand very well because that rubbery piece in his legs is kind of going. He's played with a lot. And he does have his shield, but I'm not going to put it on too tightly because the plastic on these toys wasn't made exactly the best of quality back then. But it has been played with. It was stickers, but you get the idea of it. It fit over his hands. I don't want to break his fingers trying to fit it on there, so you get the idea of it. And then fit his hand over there, and that holds his sword. It'd be nice if he could stand, but that's as good as I can get. And that's what it looks like on the back. And one cool thing about this is the other part of Skeletor's sword. You can piece these together. I think you can. So I thought you could. And in Castle Grayskull you could unlock it. But that's the figures, and I apologize for them all not standing very well. Maybe someday I'll fix the legs on them, but I think they're still really cool and well worth picking up. I wouldn't spend a whole lot of money to buy these toys because of the condition they're in. If you can get them for an affordable price, I think they're well worth it, but I wouldn't spend a whole lot for them. And that's all I really have to say. If you'd like to see more videos, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment down below, and stay tuned for more reviews.